So when you first log in, you'll be automatically directed to the dashboard, and all of the features on the dashboard are also available on the left menu. What I will be going over today will be rating shipments and then also scheduling shipments. So the first thing that we will do is rate LTL shipment. Now you will choose the second option on the menu, that will be quotes. And once you get to the quoting page, you'll go to the right side where there's this button that says Submit Rate Request, and you'll go ahead and select that. And it gives you multiple options for different modes of transportation for rates. Today I will be showing you the LTL feature. The other features, truckload, partial, intermodal, domestic forwarding, and international, these will not give you an automatic rate. What it will be is a quote sheet that you will fill out, and that will be sent directly to the department in our office. And depending on which mode of transportation you are requiring, that department will get back with you directly, because it is a little bit more intricate, the details that are needed for those. But the LTL rates, those quotes will be automatically generated in our system for you. So we'll go ahead and start with the LTL. And for LTL quotes, the main things you will need is the origin zip code, the destination zip code, the freight class, the weight, and any additional accessorials that will be needed for the shipment. When you first start quoting, what you will do is you will start with the origin zip code. Now, for this particular company, we already have some saved shippers in here. That is something we can do for you if you have a list of places that you constantly ship from or constantly ship to. We can go ahead and have those added into the system for you, and they'll be found in this drop-down menu up here. Otherwise, you would just populate the zip code, and it will automatically select the city and state for you. For the destination, we'll just go ahead and enter in a new zip code, and it automatically populates the city and state. Now, if you need any additional accessorials, such as a liftgate, inside delivery, anything extra, those will be found in these drop-down menus. So if it's a residential delivery, anything like that, you'll go ahead and select that option here. The next thing that you'll need to do is determine the freight class. If you do not know the freight class of your product, you can easily contact us and we can find that for you. There is also a rate calculator on here to determine the freight class for you if you would like to use that. The other thing we can do is if you give us a list of your commodities, we can go ahead and have those added into the system, and those will automatically be in here along with the freight class. So for example, if you are shipping iron castings, that is class 50, it's already in the system, and you would just select that. Then you would enter in the rate. And then dimensions are not required, but I always suggest entering the dimensions, because if you do have something that is considered over length, which would be over 96 inches, the system will automatically catch that, and if the carriers have extra over length fees, depending on the length, they'll go ahead and add those in to the rate for you, so that way you're not hit with any extra fees once the shipment's delivered. We'll just go ahead and do a standard pallet for this one. And once you've entered in all the information, you'll go ahead and select View Quote Results. And it will populate all of the carriers that have rates for this particular zip code pairing. Now, once the carriers and their rates are populated, you can sort this two different ways. The first one is by quickest service, and it will have the quickest service up at the top. So SCI is 1 day, and then it'll go all the way down through the rest of the carriers. An important thing to note when you are looking at service days is if it says direct or indirect. If it says indirect, that means they use a partner carrier to make the final delivery. So that could typically add a day or two to your transit. So that is something you may want to keep in mind. The other way that you can filter this is by least cost, and then it will repopulate all of the carriers that are available for this lane based on cheapest to most expensive. A couple of things I do want to point out is that if you know the value of your freight and you want to add insurance, each of the carriers has their standard limits of liability. So if you have a product that is $8,000. You will notice that for FedEx, they cover up to $16,250 for this, so you would be covered under this carrier's limits of liability. USF Holland only covers up to $6,500. So if your product's $8,000, you may want to consider adding our additional insurance, which if you go up to the top and you add in your insurance value and you select show protected rate, it will re-rate, and now it will give you the normal rate and then the rate if you wanted to add our insurance as well. And when you're looking at the rate, it will say the total rate, and then it also will break down the fuel, the line haul, and if there were any additional accessorials that you wanted to add, for example, a liftgate or an inside delivery, that will be highlighted under the accessorials. So if you are not ready to ship, you can go ahead and save this rate quote, and it will be available to you later. Or if you are ready to ship, you can go ahead and create a shipment. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. We'll say go ahead and create shipment, and it will pull up our add shipment page. This will pull information directly from the quote. So if you notice, when we ran the quote, we selected a pre-populated address from the drop-down menu, so that will automatically pre-populate into the shipping, the ship from boxes. Now the ship to, since we didn't choose a saved address, that's something you will go ahead and enter, and then you can save it at this time. So that way in the future, that address will be available. So let me just go ahead. And if you do want to save this address, you'll just select this box right here where it's save destination information, and now in the future, all of this information for this customer will be in the system. Once you've entered in your ship from and ship to information, you will select the pickup date and then the ready and close time. And then you can add any special instructions in to the shipment that will be pre-populated onto the bill of lading. For example, one of the more popular ones is do not stack. At this time, you can also add any reference numbers, PO numbers, order numbers, any reference that you would like to see on all of your paperwork, the bill of lading, and the invoice can be added here. And then once you get down to the freight information, this automatically pre-populates from the information on the quote. So it has class 50, it has the commodity description, it pre-populates the NFFS number, the number of skids that we entered, the weight, and then the dimensions. So once you've done that, it will ask you to view rates one more time. And then it will come up and show you all of your shipping information for this particular shipment. If you do notice at this time that you've entered in the wrong contact name or the wrong phone number, the wrong address, you switched a digit, you can go ahead and in the right-hand corner, there's a pencil. If you select that, it will allow you to edit any information you've entered. And then you can review all of your information to make sure everything's correct. Review that, yes, we selected FedEx Priority, 2-day transit for $146.99. And once you've done that, you submit shipment. As soon as you hit submit shipment, a notification will be sent to our office, and we will go ahead and schedule the carrier depending on the date and the time frame that you entered in for the shipment. So we will schedule the carrier, we will set the pickup for you, and you will automatically be emailed a copy of the bill of lading. That bill of lading, as Phil said earlier, will need to be used and given to the carrier when they arrive for the pickup to ensure that you are receiving the cost that is in this system. If for some reason you need another copy of the bill of lading, on this screen here, you can go down, you can view the bill of lading, you can email it directly from the system to anybody. You can also print shipping labels. If you have your own labels, that's perfectly fine to use, but if you want to print and use our labels, there are a few different options for you to select from, depending on how many labels you would like. And then if you want to go and view this shipment, all you have to do is select View Shipment Details. And it will bring up all the information for this shipment for you to review. And then once that's done, you can go back to the dashboard, or you can select back to shipment list. And as you start entering more shipments, all of your shipments will be populated on this shipment list screen. And so you can see the status of them. Right now it's pending. Once it's picked up, it will show in transit. And then once it's delivered, this will come up and show delivered. And you can automatically track the shipment by the pro number by selecting this link for the pro number, and it will come up with all the tracking information for that shipment as well.